Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and as always, NoDQ.com, your source for the very latest in WWE and TNA. And speaking of TNA, we have Lockdown coming up in a few weeks. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest news and rumors. This is the first TNA pay-per-view since the major pay-per-view change took place in TNA, where they're only doing 4 major pay-per-views a year, and then they're having the tape specials. So Lockdown should certainly be a huge show this year. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest. With that being said, let's get right down to your questions. This first one today comes from Hawkeye24. Hey Aaron, if we don't see Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara at WrestleMania this year, do you think that there's a chance they could face off at WrestleMania 30? I really think that if we don't see Rey Mysterio versus Sin Cara this year, that it's not going to happen at all. Year after year since Sin Cara has come into WWE, there's been the talk about him facing Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, and every year something happens and the match does not take place. This year, they were a tag team in late 2012, but then both guys have kind of fizzled out again, and Rey Mysterio's here. He's gone. He keeps going back and forth. Sin Cara, it seems like WWE has really decided to give up on him at this point, and he's basically an enhancement talent. The other week he just did like a quick 1-minute job on Raw. Doesn't really feel like WWE wants to put much into either guy at this point, and it's unfortunate. The word is that they've decided not to go with this match for WrestleMania this year. And, I don't know how much longer Rey Mysterio is going to be around, and the same can be said for Sin Cara. So, there's always the chance that the match could happen next year at WrestleMania, but I think that each year that goes by where it doesn't happen, it's less and less likely that it's going to happen. All right, this one comes from Showstopper526. Hey Aaron, big fan of the show. Do you think that The Undertaker decided to not do WrestleMania 29 this year? It seems like WWE is building towards CM Punk versus John Cena versus The Rock. Your thoughts? Thanks. I think that WWE is teasing the idea of a triple threat for WrestleMania as a backup plan in case The Undertaker decides not to do WrestleMania 29. And I think the deal here is that Undertaker hasn't committed 100% to doing WrestleMania. I don't think that he's given them a definite answer, and I think that that's why they're doing this triple threat tease in case Undertaker says, you know what, I can't do it, I'm going to sit this one out. We really don't know a whole lot about the situation with Undertaker. We know that a few weeks ago he had a meeting with Vince McMahon, a private meeting in Nashville. But besides that, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about the Undertaker's standpoint and where he stands for WrestleMania. One would think that if he had made a full 100% commitment that he would have been on Raw this past Monday and the build-up would have started for WrestleMania, but now it's been delayed yet another week, and every week we think The Undertaker's coming back and he doesn't. I think by this Monday, a definite decision has to be made because you're getting into March now, and you really need to get the ball rolling with the WrestleMania build-up. So I think for sure this Monday we'll know if Undertaker is doing WrestleMania or not, and I think at this point it could go either way. It's 50-50. Nobody really knows for sure except for Undertaker. And maybe he doesn't even know for sure what he wants to do. All right, this one comes from Curtis Fleeks. Hi Aaron, love the show. What do you think was the most offensive thing to happen in wrestling history? Well, there's not a lot of things over the years in wrestling that have personally offended me. I'm not really one of those people that gets offended by things. It's pro wrestling, and it really takes a lot to offend me personally. But I think in terms of an angle or storyline that offended a large amount of people, I think that most people would say the most offensive thing to happen in wrestling history was Triple H doing the necrophilia with Katie Vick. That seems to be one that stands out to me. You know what? Things that offend me aren't things that I think are morally wrong, stuff like that, but things that offend me in wrestling are things that are just really dumb, and I'm wondering, why do you do that? Why do you try to alienate your audience? And just a lot of stuff that happened in WCW, like putting the title on David Arquette. What are you thinking there? That offends me. Why do you try to do something that's going to alienate your audience? And, doing the stuff with, Goldberg not not taking the jackknife power bomb and just walking away, and they're breaking the script, and they're basically telling all the fans that wrestling's fake. Stuff like that, that annoyed me. It was entertaining, but I knew that was going to kill WCW, and that's what really bothered me the most. Just seeing WCW going down the tubes, and I think it's a guilty pleasure for me. WCW 2000, I enjoyed a lot of that stuff, but at the same time, I knew that it was going to kill the company. So in a way, it did bother me a lot. The stuff that they were doing, just telling everybody wrestling's fake and doing all this stuff, shooting and breaking the script, and all that stuff. I think bothered me the most personally. All right, this last one today comes from Crayon4810, a regular contributor. With the most recent Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber pay-per-views featuring only one of each match type, do you think WWE is moving towards eliminating these themed pay-per-views, or will they possibly continue with only one match at each event? I think that WWE realized that doing multiple matches on the pay-per-view is overkill, and I agree with that viewpoint. I think that you should stick to one match at the pay-per-view and make that the main event match. And WWE didn't do that this year with Elimination Chamber. It was just, in the middle of the card for the world title. If you're going to keep doing the themed pay-per-views, stick to one match and make that the main event match. If you're going to make it a mid-card match, then there's really no point in doing it, period. I think you just kill the stipulation and not make it special, and that was the case this year with Elimination Chamber. And I've talked about it before. If it was me, I would just drop the themed pay-per-view concept completely. I don't think it's been working, and it really has an effect on your booking. You're booking matches completely random for no reason. In the past, the Hell in a Cell match would have a purpose behind it, and it would be part of the storyline. Now it's a mandatory match, and there's no good reason for doing it. You're just doing it because you have to do a themed pay-per-view. So I don't like the concept at all, and I think that they should just drop it, period. And if they're going to keep doing it, then at least stick to one match and make that match the main event. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AW. Keep spreading the word on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you next time for more NoDQ&A video.